everyone, my name is Melody and I am a contemporary fiction author, and I'm working on getting a series of books ready for publication, and I thought I would make a video about literary agents. And so I've actually decided that I'm going to go the indie publishing route, but for a time there I wanted to traditional publish, and I was looking for a literary agent, and it was really hard, but it was fun too. And I thought I would make a video about how to find one. Now, this is not a video about how to get a literary agent. I can't give you any advice about query letters or anything like that, but when you're looking for a literary agent, there are so many literary agents, and it's kind of hard to narrow it down. So I have 6 tips on how to find a literary agent. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so the first one is Query Tracker. This is an awesome website. You can learn so much about all these different literary agents on the site, and you can do so much as well. So what Query Tracker is a website. It's run by this guy named Patrick, and he has got this really awesome site set up where you can find a literary agent. So you go to the website, you plug in your genre, and you can find all the literary agents that represent that genre. Now there is, you can get a free account, but now there is also a subscription account. So I think it's like $25 a year, which actually is a pretty good deal. Now I never did the paid membership. I just did the free account, but still, even with just the free account, you can get so much information out of it. It's just with the paid membership, you get access to additional reports and things like that. Like you get to find out like how many queries has your agent reviewed, or like, you know, how many have they responded to, or I think it's like you can actually find like where your query like is in the line. But like I say, I just did the free account, which is just as good. And so how Query Tracker works is, like I say, you go in and you plug in your genre, and you get a list of all the agents that represent that genre. And then once you pull up that list of agents, from there you can filter them out. Like you can take out, you know, all the ones that aren't in your country. And I will say this, I'm in the United States, so I don't really know how Query Tracker works for anybody out of this country. I know they've got some UK agents on there and some Canadian ones as well. But anyway, so once you get your agents, you can pull each individual agent's page up, and you can read their comments that people have left about that agent. And I find the comments section really valuable, because there were a few times when I would be interested in an agent, and I would get to see you know, what other people thought of that agent. You know, oh, this agent, she seems really nice, she responded to me right away. Or, oh, you know, this agent, like, you know, she still hasn't responded to me, and it's been like 360 days, you know, and I still haven't got a response from her. You know, like, whatever, you know, little comments like that. But I find that's actually very helpful, because it kind of gives you an idea of who that agent is. Most of the time, people like to use the comment section on Query Tracker to like mark the day that they sent the query, and then mark the day that they got the response and what the response was. And so that's kind of helpful, because then if you send a query in and then you see, oh, you know, this person, they sent a query like, you know, the day before mine, and this agent's already responded, so maybe they'll respond to my query soon. So that's a good tip. I like the comment feature. And then another thing about Query Tracker is you can, when you pull up the agent's page, you have a link on the side where you can like pull up their Google page, or you can like do a Google search from it. You just click the link and it opens up in a new window, and it takes you directly to Google, where you can Google that agent. Which brings me to the second tip, which is looking at their website. Look at their website and check out their bio, because every literary agent should have a website. If they don't, maybe that's a red flag, but I would definitely check out their website. also make sure when you check out their website, like don't just go by what's on Query Tracker. Maybe that agent doesn't represent that genre anymore that's listed on Query Tracker, but on their website they should have theoretically, they should have the most updated information on their website. So you can clearly see, okay, this agent has this, and this, that they represent. And also, if they're closed or open for queries. That's another thing you got to keep in mind. Sometimes literary agents say close for queries, and so you can't query them when they're closed. So now on to the third tip for finding a literary agent, and that is through interviews that you find on Google. So if you're interested in a literary agent, definitely Google them and check out to see if they have any interviews that they've done online. It's a great way to kind of get a feel for what that literary agent is looking for, what kind of person they are. They're really helpful. I definitely recommend looking for any interviews that that literary agent has done. Read everything you can find about it, and it kind of gives you a good sense of if you want to query that agent or not. Now, the fourth one is one of my favorites. It is Twitter. I have not found a literary agent who was not on Twitter. They're all on there. Like, Twitter seems to be big in, the literary agent world. And, well, there's some agents I think that are more active on Twitter than others. But if you're interested in a literary agent, what I would do is follow them on Twitter. And a lot of times they will update you on what their query status is. They'll say, okay, well, I've checked all the queries, that were sent to me in July. And so that if you haven't heard from that agent and you sent your query in July, that means that they've already looked at it. Some agents don't like to send rejections. They just like to say, okay, well, I've looked at all these queries that were sent to me in this month, and then, it's implied if you didn't hear from them, that's obviously a pass. Well, the other thing I like about Twitter is that you kind of get a feel for who that agent is. Like, there was this one agent that I queried, and I won't say who it is. I won't say who it is, but I had, read her bio, and I saw that she represented a genre that I was writing, and so I thought, all right, I'm going to query her. And then after that, I was like, I said, oh yeah, I should check to see if she's on Twitter. And then when I went to Twitter, I just was kind of turned off on her. Like, there wasn't anything necessarily wrong about any of her posts, but she was like, she really wasn't posting about a lot of book stuff. I mean, maybe like a little bit of book news, but not a lot. And mostly her Twitter was like her personal stuff. So like she was sharing a lot of jokes. And like, I don't remember any specific example, but I do remember like seeing the word beer, and I saw the F-bomb a few times, and it just came across to me as like very unprofessional. Like that certain agent just like, I just don't think she's the one. That was just my personal feeling about this particular agent. And I was actually like hoping she would reject me. I'm like, oh my God, I really hope she rejects me, because I don't know if I want to work with that one. And actually, luckily she did. I actually didn't hear from her for a very long time, and so I closed her query out and just took it as a no response. But then like later on, I actually did get the rejection from her, which was fine. I was already over her anyway. But yeah, so Twitter, I really like Twitter. I would really just, if you're thinking about a literary agent, check them out, see what kind of posts they do. There was another agent that I really, really liked. Like, she was like one of my dream agents, and I had, looked up every interview she did online, and she had, her favorite author was one of my favorite authors. So I was like really excited about this agent. And then when I went to her Twitter, Like, there was nothing wrong with her Twitter, but it was nothing but retweets, like retweet, retweet, retweet. And I'm like, every now and then she would make a post of her own, but you know, I wanted to know about her. I wanted to know what she had to say. I didn't really care about all the stuff that she was retweeting. I mean, you know, sure, it was great info that she was tweeting out, but I really wanted to know about her. I didn't want all that other stuff in there. So I was kind of like disappointed about that, because some agents I saw on Twitter, they were just so awesome. You know, they would update, you know, you like on their query status. They would update you, like they'll give you writing tips or query tips, and you know, just give writers like general advice, and let them know let them know when they're closing for queries or things like that. So some agents you'll find are really great at it, some are, you know, not so much. But anyway, Twitter. Check out Twitter. All right, tip number, is it 5? All right, tip number 5, MSWL. That stands for Manuscript Wishlist. I think I got that right. MSWL? Yeah, MSWL. Yeah, Manuscript Wishlist. There is this awesome website. You can just type it into Google. I don't have the exact address right now. Maybe I'll link it down below. But it's actually, there's 2 websites. Yeah, there's 2 websites that I really love. So the first one has like a search box, and you can type in that search box, and you know, like what I would do is I like type in like stuff that's related to your story, or type in one of your favorite authors, or a title of a book that's kind of similar to yours, and pull it up and see what you find. Sometimes literary agents are saying you'll find their page and they'll say, you know, I'm looking for the next so-and-so, whatever that author, you know, I'm looking for the next author, or I like this book. This is one of my favorite books, and like that's one of your favorite books too. And so that's a great way to find more agents to query. So that's a really good, that's a good website. And then like there's another one that kind of compiles everything that's on Twitter. Back to Twitter again. There's this hashtag MSWL, and when agents post with that hashtag, you can actually even just go to Twitter also. That's another thing I forgot to mention. You can go to Twitter and search that hashtag and find out what literary agents are looking for. But on this other website, this I don't even remember what the website is. Like I say, I'll link it down below. This other website kind of compiles all these tweets from these agents. So you kind of have like all of them, you know, on one website. And I would browse through that website a lot, and I could find out what agents were looking for like right now. And so that's how I found a few agents to query. So those are both really good websites. So like I say, I can't remember the I can't even remember the website name. I don't know what the website address is. I don't even know what the name is, but I will link it down below because I'll look it up after this video. All right, so now the final tip is tip number 6. And this is one that you have to do a little research on. What I want you to do is look for a book that is similar to yours. You probably already have those, what they call comp titles. You probably already have a list of these, but you know, look for books that are similar to yours. Look for authors who have a similar writing style, similar stories, and so then look to see who represents that author. A lot of times you can open up the book and you'll see in the acknowledgments, they'll say, I'd like to thank my literary agent, you know, so-and-so, whatever their name is. That's another way to find a good literary agent. If that literary agent represents that book, which is kind of similar to yours, then maybe they'll like your story. And okay, I will give you one query tip. I would, when I was writing queries, I would say, you know, I see you represent, you know, so-and-so who wrote this book, and this book is kind of similar to mine, you know. I would do that. Maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that's not a good query tip because, okay, here's the one thing. Sometimes if you have a literary agent who has, who's already representing one kind of book, they may not want to take on a similar book. They may, because sometimes they'll come back with a rejection and they'll say, this, I already have a title similar to this, you know. So I don't know, so tip number 6, it definitely can help you find a literary agent, but like I say, I'm not going to help you get a literary agent, you know, because that's actually really hard. It's really hard to get a literary agent. Yeah. Well, anyway, I hope you found this helpful. If you have, please subscribe and leave a comment. If I've left out anything, if you have any more tips on how to find literary agents, please leave a comment. And hopefully you can find one if that's what you're looking for. I wish you luck. All right. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.